Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey friend, it's great to have you tuned into The Morning Show today. Here on The Morning Show, you'll hear your favorite Southern gospel music and some of the classics you'll never forget. And now, the hostess of The Morning Show, Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
When you wake up to the storm and all you feel are the waves crashing against your boat, you wonder if anybody remembers you or the journey that you're on. When you feel discouraged from what you see on the news or the events going on around you, well, friend, cut it off. Don't look to the left or to the right. Look up. And when everything inside of you is screaming to be afraid, to accept defeat, or to hand our enemy a victory, well, you need to sing. And then keep singing. Sing it some more. For we are God's people. And that's just what God's people do. Well, we sing.
You said sing from a life and heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. When you said sing from a life and heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. When God created living things, He knew we'd need a way to share our fears, our questions, and our dreams. Oh, there were words, but words won't do when joy swells up inside. There simply had to be a better way. When you say sing from a life and heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. And sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing. The birds God sent on flashing wings to fill the sky with song, put music in the brook and crashing seas.
The wind blew through the threads of grass like fingers through the strings of golden harps and made the meadow sing.
Then He said sing from a life and heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air. You can sing when there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
The psalmist said, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before His presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter into His gates with thanksgiving, and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him, and bless His name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations."
Then He said sing from a life and heart, just sing. When the night is darkest, sing. Let your joy explode and let music fill the air.
You can sing
When there's nothing else to do, sing. When something deep inside of you tells you that life is still a wonder, just throw back your head and sing.
Then He said sing
From a life and heart, just sing. this journey. I counted the cost. Some said I would turn back, but I have held on. I've left nothing behind me to ever go back to. So I'm here, Lord. Do you say it's over? I'm going on with you. Come sickness or sorrow, heartache or pain, I'll be somewhere in the trial, praising your name. For you have been faithful, time and time again. I'm not here just for the good times. Lord, I'm with you till the end. When I cried out for mercy, you reached out your hand. I had nothing to offer when you took me in. You gave life to this dying soul. You were my rescue. You were my rescue. Now I'm here, Lord. Do you say it's over? I'm going on with you. Come sickness or sorrow, heartache or pain, I'll be somewhere in the trial, praising your name. I'll be praising your name. For you have been faithful, time and time again. I'm not here just for the good times. Lord, I'm with you till the end. For you have been faithful, time and time again. I'm not here just for the good times. Lord, I'm with you till the end. Till the end.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and you are listening to The Morning Show. It is International Moment of Laughter Day. All over the world, we are celebrating a little bit of laughter today. Did you know that medical studies have shown that laughing reduces stress, increases blood flow, and lowers blood sugar levels? Literally. Some studies have even shown that people who laugh just before going to bed are much more likely to sleep better than those who do not. In addition to its health benefits, laughter also has social advantages. People who are jovial, well, they tend to be quickly accepted in social groups and have an easier time making friends. So laughter is a way to spread joy and happiness and to bring cheer in the life of others. So my advice to you today is to be around someone who makes you laugh. That means I'll have to connect up with Nicole today because my sister Nicole always makes me laugh. And for some reason, if I can't get Nicole, well, I'll just call Mickey Bell. So it's April the 14th. We're going to stop today. We're going to smell the roses and we're going to laugh a little or a lot, whichever may be the case, because it's International Moment of Laughter Day. The Bible says in Proverbs 17:22 that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth up bones. Glad you're listening to The Morning Show. There's no other place I'd rather be than right here with you.
Happy rhythm. Happy rhythm. We're talking about happy rhythm. Beats are rocking and rolling. I can feel it moving while I sing this song. Brother, let me tell you how I feel. Tell you about a feeling that is real. Brother, let me tell you how the glory rolls. Tell you how it bubbles in my happy soul. Happiness is free, it's never bought or sold. Let me tell you how I feel, let me tell you. There's a happy rhythm, keeps a rocking and a rolling. I can feel it moving while I sing this song. What a thrill to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rolling and a rocking. Rolling and a rocking and a rocking and a rolling. It's a happy rhythm in my soul. A wonderful happy, happy rhythm. There's music ringing deep within my soul. I can feel it bubble, I can feel it roll. Then I get the feeling that I wanna shout. Makes me feel so good, I gotta move about. Brother, there can never be a single doubt. I can feel it, I can feel happy rhythm. There's a happy rhythm, keeps a rocking and a rolling. I can feel it moving while I sing this song. What a thrill to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rolling and a rocking. Rolling and a rocking and a rocking and a rolling. It's a happy rhythm in my soul. A wonderful happy, happy rhythm. Brother, let me tell you how the glory rolls in me. Tell you how it bubbles in my happy soul. Rolling and a rocking, it's a rocking and a rolling. Always rolling and a rocking, moving on and never stopping. Rolling and a rocking, always rocking and a rolling. It's a happy rhythm in my soul. There's a happy rhythm, rocking and a rolling. I can feel it moving while I sing this song. What a thrill to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rolling and a rocking. Rolling and a rocking and a rocking and a rolling. It's a happy rhythm in my soul. It keeps a rolling happy rhythm. What a thrill to feel it moving on and never stopping. Deep within my heart it keeps a rolling and a rocking. Rolling and a rocking and a rocking and a rolling. It's a happy rhythm in my soul. In my soul. A happy rhythm moving in my soul. Lord, I hope this day is good. I'm feeling empty and misunderstood. I should be thankful, Lord, I know I should. But Lord, I hope this day is good. Lord, have you forgotten me? I've been praying to you faithfully. I'm not saying I'm a righteous man, but Lord, I hope you understand. I don't need fortune and I don't need fame. Send down the thunder, Lord, send down the rain. But when you're planning just how it will be, plan a good day for me. Lord, I hope this day is good. I'm feeling empty and misunderstood. I should be thankful, Lord, I know I should. But Lord, I hope this day is good. this day is good. I'm feeling empty and misunderstood. I should be thankful, Lord, I know I should. But Lord, I hope this day is good. Lord, I hope this day is good. I'm feeling empty and misunderstood. I should be thankful, Lord, I know I should. But Lord, I hope this day is good. But Lord, I hope this day is good.
All right, it's been Hinson Week. On the morning show, we have been highlighting the Hinson family. This is not Weston and Christy Hinson. This is Ronnie Hinson, but we're going to get in all the good we can out of any Hinson flavor that we can enjoy. This one is off Brother Ronnie's latest CD. It's the one that celebrates 50 years of Hinson music. And if you followed the Hinsons for very long, well, this one's going to be special to you. He has become my friend. He's more precious than I ever thought he would be. It's entitled, That Old Silver Eagle. It'll take your breath. Here's Brother Ronnie.
Today I climb back on that old silver eagle, and I roll back down old highways in my mind. Back to a younger age, where I wound up on some stage, singing with my family one more time. I heard Larry singing, come to the water. Yvonne kept getting closer to the cross, and when he strapped his guitar on, old Kenny growled out, call me gone. The Lord came down to lift the roof right off. I saw your mom and dad there in the crowd. They were standing on their feet and shouting loud. Oh, the devil took a beating. We had hallelujah meeting. It took us back to old camp meeting days, and at that perfect time, we just let that old lighthouse shine. Oh, I guess I never shall forget the day I heard guitars, drums, and a grand. They were young, but oh, what a band. And as we waved goodbye to all the people outside, Big Brother Harold started up that old Silver Eagle. Yeah, today I climb back on that old Silver Eagle.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that one would get you? Brother Ronnie Hinson, the old Silver Eagle. Wow.
There's a lot of people talking about people, looking down on everybody, acting like they're sitting on a steeple, keeping all their own faults locked up in a big vault, forgetting that God don't need a combination to see it all. Raise your hand if you ain't ever done nothing wrong. That's what I thought. Rocks are heavy and they hurt people you love. And it's so easy reaching down and picking them up, but I ain't gonna throw no stones at nobody. Don't wanna get hit by a ricochet. Ain't got no room for no rocks in my pockets anyway. He just sat there drawing on the ground beside her. She was caught red-handed and man, they all couldn't wait to stone her. Now I'm just paraphrasing, but Jesus said, wait a minute. Step right up and be the first to throw if you ain't done some sinning. One by one, they all dropped their stones and went home. Rocks are heavy and they hurt people you love. It's so easy reaching down and picking them up, but I ain't gonna throw no stones at nobody. Don't wanna get hit by a ricochet. Ain't got no room for no rocks in my pockets anyway. Rock of Ages, a sweet, sweet cornerstone, was meant to be a place to hide and not something we throw. So I ain't gonna throw no stones at nobody, 'cause I need grace to make it every day. Ain't got no room for no rocks in my pockets. Got no room for no rocks in my pockets. Got no room for no rocks in my pockets anyway.
I love Southern Gospel Radio in the morning. Woo! Natalie does such a great job. Listen, you got the old swan here, and I'm going to tell you something. You know, the Bible says a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. If your bones dry up, then they get brittle, and then they can't. They might break, and if you break your bones, and if you break your bones, then you can't walk or run, and then you got to take Boniva for bone density. Bone density. Yeah, Boniva. Sally Fields takes Boniva. Let me tell you what I do for my bone density. Bluebell ice cream. Listen, I just love this radio station, and you know, the music is awesome, and they even put the swan on. So as Barney Fife would say, old Don Knotts, Deputy Fife would say, listen, well, go ahead, Barney, just say it. Now listen, if you are in a bad mood and you need some encouragement, if you've got a bad attitude, nip it in the bud and put it on Southern Gospel Radio in the morning. Bless your little heart. Y'all be good, you hear? And enjoy.
Come on, come on, come on.
Come on in this house.
Oh, well, why don't you come on in this house? Well, why don't you come on in this house. Yeah, why don't you come on in this house? Come on in this house of the Lord. You know we're seeking soul salvation. Come on in this house. Well, we're seeking soul salvation. Come on in this house, yeah. Seeking soul salvation. Come on in this house. Come on in this house of the Lord. Now Jesus said to Peter, on this rock I'll build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against the rock that availeth much. In every city I'll build a church, on the solid rock it'll stand, and I'll say, shelter. Listen children, go and come again. You got a standing invitation to my Father's house. Oh, standing invitation to my Father's house. Yeah, standing invitation to my Father's house. Come on in this house of the Lord. Come and go with me to my Father's house, to my Father's house. Come and go with me to my Father's house, to my Father's house. There's peace and joy and love. There's victory from above. Come and go with me to my Father's house, to my Father's house.
Well, why don't you
come on in this house?
and why don't you
come on in this house? Yeah.
why don't you
Come on in this house. Come on in this house of the Lord. Good time. Good time. We're gonna have a time. We're gonna have a good time. Good time. We're gonna have a time. Come on, clap your hands. Good time. We're gonna have a time. Somebody take a stand and testify. Get up out of your seat. You know there's healing in this house. Salvation in this house. There's happiness in this house. You will be blessed in this house. Come on in this house of the Lord. House of the Lord. House of the Lord. You'll find peace in the house of the
stand on the rock where Moses stood.
Music, ministry, and more. It's The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now, with your patriotic point of view, here's Larry Gressett.
Zagnut, our morning show host's favorite candy bar of all time, was created in 1930 by D.L. Clark Company with the goal of making a peanut butter candy bar that had no chocolate. During the early 1930s, most candy bars had some form of chocolate in them, whether it was a Hershey's chocolate bar, Three Musketeers, or D.L. Clark's own Clark bar. Almost every candy bar you could find had chocolate in the ingredient. While that was by far the most popular ingredient for confections, Mr. Clark and his team of confectioners wanted to evolve their company into a creator of all kinds of candy. Ever since its creation, it's had only one flavor. The name Zagnut comes from the play on the ingredients of peanut butter and coconut. The early era of candy bars comes with some pretty unique names. Most candy bars' names were based on cultural references or strictly chosen to captivate the eyes of young consumers looking for something different. This is how Zagnut got its name. It's simple, straightforward, and has just enough flair to catch the attention of consumers and get them questioning, what does a Zagnut taste like? Combine that with a bright red wrapper and neon yellow lettering, and you have yourself a candy bar that will stick out on any store shelf or checkout spot. As part of the Clark family, Zagnut has naturally shifted ownership, first being bought by Leaf Brands, a candy company based out of Illinois in 1995. Not even a year later, Hershey stepped in and bought out Leaf Brands, and with it, the rights to the Zagnut bar. To this day, Hershey continues to produce the Zagnut bar and has never changed the ingredients or the original logo from 1930. If you haven't had one, Natalie says you should try one. I'm Larry Gressett with your patriotic point of view.
The Patriotic Point of View was brought to you by Joe McGee Construction. Joe McGee Construction believes family is one of God's greatest gifts. Family owned and operated for the past 33 years, Joe McGee Construction is the proud employer of some of Mississippi's best tradesmen. Together, we are supporting our communities and working hard to ensure that every commute to work and every ride to school brings us safely home to our loved ones. Valuing faith, family, and the Magnolia State, Joe McGee Construction is building safer roads for a better Mississippi. Joe McGee is my friend, and I thank him for helping us bring you the best mix of Southern gospel music, along with your patriotic point of view here on The Morning Show. We're here to let the world know God's got a song, and it is the song of salvation through Jesus Christ and Him alone. And we will sing this song, and we will play this song as long as we have breath in these bodies. And then the Lord will give us a new song, a song that only the redeemed can sing, and we will sing that song through all of eternity. My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and you are listening to The Morning Show. All right, this is a little edgy for The Morning Show, but it's International Moment of Laughter Day. This just feels happy to me. We can do it, right?
Hey, you in the corner shaking in those boots. You know what to do. You got the shaking vibe, but the feel won't do. We always say that we have unspeakable joy. So let our feet do all the talking when our words fall short.
everybody, this is Scotty Inman, and you're listening to The Morning Show with Natalie. My grandpa preached from a trailer bed, had potluck dinner and a Marlboro red, and we'd sing I Saw the Light a couple dozen times. We played hide and seek underneath the stars and drank grandma's tea out of mason jars. I didn't need those city lights, it was just our way of life. Well, I was raised on it, it's where I call home. I made my way on it, and it's the only thing I know. It's in my bones, it's in my blood, it's in my roots down in the mud. And it's a redneck church choir singing, holy, holy, holy. It's in my jeans, it's in my boots, it's in the way that spirit moves. In a part-time center, I wanna be apostle, raised on Southern gospel. Saved 4 summers for a new used truck, had a first date mixtape all queued up, and I shook her daddy's hand and showed him I'm the kind of man that was raised on it. And it's the only thing I know. It's in my bones, it's in my blood, it's in my roots down in the mud. And it's a redneck church choir singing, holy, holy, holy. It's in my jeans, it's in my boots, it's in the way that spirit moves. In a part-time center, I wanna be apostle, raised on Southern gospel. I was raised on it, it's where I call home. I made my way on it, and it's the only thing I know. It's in my bones, it's in my blood, it's in my roots down in the mud. And it's a redneck church choir singing, holy, holy, holy. It's in my jeans, it's in my boots, it's in the way that spirit moves. In a part-time center, I wanna be apostle, raised on Southern gospel. Oh, it's in my bones, it's in my blood, it's in my roots down in the mud, raised on Southern gospel.
Today we are celebrating the National Moment of Laughter. I'm comedian Mickey Bell, your host for the next few seconds in the opportunity to make you laugh. It is now time for your International Moment of Laugh moment. Did I say moment twice? International Moment of Laugh. I am your host, comedian Mickey Bell. There is nothing even greater that will help you laugh than to have a bad dad joke moment. So here is my bad dad joke of the day. Why did the coach go back into the bank? To get his quarterback. Thank you so much. This has been your moment of laughter for the day, brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, your indigestion, cold sweats, diarrhea medicine. I am your host, comedian Mickey Bell.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? The Savior took my place.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? My sins have been erased.
What's not to love?
What's not to love about amazing grace?
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know
What's not to love? What's not to love?
What's not to love? The Savior took my place.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? My sins have been erased.
What's not to love?
What's not to love about amazing grace?
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know
What's not to love?
what's not to love.
About a peace that keeps me through the night.
What's not to love.
About those nail-scarred hands that hold me tight.
What's not to love.
About the healing touch that gave me sight.
And since I've learned to trust him, everything's gonna be alright.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? The Savior took my place.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? My sins have been erased.
What's not to love?
What's not to love about amazing grace?
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know
What's not to love?
what's not to love.
He gives new mercy every morning like rain.
What's not to love.
I walk in favor, I just can't explain.
What's not to love.
I've been forgiven, love broke every chain. And look who's been adopted. And the king gave me his name. What's not to love?
What's not to love? The Savior took my place.
What's not to love?
What's not to love? My sins have been erased.
What's not to love?
What's not to love about amazing grace?
I'd like to know.
I'd like to know
What's not to love?
what's not to love about Jesus.
What's not to love about Jesus?
What's not to love about Jesus?
What's not to love? Can I get a witness? I just got to testify. Some people call me crazy, but I'm the apple of his eye. What's not to love?
What's not to love
About Jesus.
What's not to love?
Oh,
What's not to love
about Jesus.
What's not to love?
Can you hear the music? Can you feel the beat? The angels must be dancing, 'cause he's singing over me. What's not to love?
What's not to love
About Jesus.
What's not to love? What's not to love about Jesus?
Oh, what's not to love? He's just wild about me. I always make him smile. My picture's in his wallet, 'cause I'm his favorite child. What's not to love?
What's not to love? The Savior took my place.
What's not to love?
What's not to love?
My sin has been erased. What's not to love?
What's not to love
About amazing grace. Somebody tell me.
I'd like to know
What's not to love?
And I want to give you a heads up on what all is happening right here on the morning show next week, because it is packed full. We haven't had a week like this in a while, and I don't want you to miss any of it. I mentioned a few days ago the Right Road Quartet. We play them almost every day here on the morning show. They have that new song, I Have Decided. They're a brand new group in Southern gospel music. I told you I reached out to those guys, and guess what? They have responded. I have gotten hold of the Right Road Quartet. They will be right here on the morning show on Wednesday. We're going to talk to those guys. We're going to meet them. We're going to hear all about this song and their upcoming album that has not been released yet, but will be soon. So we are going to meet the Right Road Quartet on Wednesday morning. On Thursday morning of next week, we've got a panel. You know I love a panel better than anything in the world. I love a panel. And we've got the original panel of the morning show. My sister Nicole Smith, she will be here along with Kara Smith from Kara Smith Photography. They will both be here on the morning show. The original panel will be back in true form Thursday morning. And then on Friday morning, we will have the Shower Brothers. Well, Josh Shower from the Shower Brothers will be here on Friday morning. That is the release date of their brand new album entitled One. It will be released on Friday April the 21st. So we'll be speaking with Josh Shire on Friday. He'll tell us all about their new album. That's a packed full week. I want you to know that it's happening so you don't miss any of those special days. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week, we will have guests. How about that? That's something to look.
The Morning Show with Natalie. Blood-bought believer has a story of amazing grace when they knelt at the foot of the cross. And if the hand of the merciful Savior drew you up out of the miry clay and set your feet on a solid rock, somebody tell about the love and mercy waiting for the lost at Calvary. Somebody tell. This whole world needs to know about Jesus, so you can't keep it to yourself. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. If you've had chains that are gone forever and a heart that has been redeemed, if he's saved and forgiven your soul, if your home is a wind in glory, 'cause here on earth the Lord has set you free, you won't rest until the whole world knows. Somebody tell about the love and mercy waiting for the lost at Calvary. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. This whole world needs to know about Jesus, so you can't keep it to yourself. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell about the love and mercy waiting for the lost at Calvary. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. This whole world needs to know about Jesus, so you can't keep it to yourself. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. This whole world needs to know about Jesus, so you can't keep it to yourself. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell. Somebody tell.
Well, I want to talk to you about the good folks over at Hometown Roots in Sebastopol, Mississippi. Hometown Roots is not only an amazing boutique with lots of gifts and fashion. Well, Hometown Roots is a florist that can provide all of your floral needs, and they do it with excellence. Kitty Ladner and all the folks at Hometown Roots, they're flower experts, and they create some of the most beautiful live flower arrangements that I've ever seen. Cut arrangements, single flower arrangements, mixed arrangements, the compact arrangements, that's the little small flower arrangements. Well, they do it all. Have you ever sent someone flowers? Well, you should try it. It's a great feeling, and it doesn't have to be for a special occasion. I've sent people flowers just to say, I appreciate you, or I know you've been having a tough time. Flowers are appropriate for any occasion, and flowers say it better than any words. So I think we should be sending more flowers. I believe it'd be a good thing. So call Hometown Roots today, 601-625-7512. You can look them up on the Facebook. You can send a message. It's super easy. But let's make somebody's day better today or this week with a fresh cut arrangement from Hometown Roots. It'll make you feel better too.
Single, Jesus and Me. SouthernGospelPrizes.com is giving away 5 Jesus and Me t-shirts. Register to win at SouthernGospelPrizes.com. We'll draw the winners May 7th. Be sure to listen for this new song from the Jordan Family Band and register to win your own Jesus and Me t-shirt. Southern Gospel Prizes for Southern Gospel fans. SouthernGospelPrizes.com.
have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. I have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. There's a wealth of things that I profess, sin that I believe. Deep inside I never changed. I guess I'd been deceived. 'Cause a voice inside kept telling me that I'd change by and by. But the Spirit made it clear to me that kind of life's a lie. I have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. So forget the game of being good and your self-righteous pain. 'Cause the only good inside your heart is the good that Jesus brings. And when the world begins to see you change, don't expect them to applaud. Keep your eyes on Him and tell yourself, I've become the work of God. I have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. I have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. I have decided I'm gonna live like a believer. Turn my back on the deceiver. I'm gonna live what I believe. I have decided being good is just a fable. I just can't 'cause I'm not able. I'm gonna leave it to the Lord. I have decided.
We're glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
The more you focus on your difficulty, your hardship, or even your pain when you're suffering, the more you focus on it, what happens? The bigger it gets. Well, I've been going through this, and I've been going through that. And if your friends listen to you and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I feel so sorry for you, the more pity they give you, the bigger it gets, and the bigger it gets, the more you doubt God. And so the issue is focus. And I think, when I think of focus, I think of many instances in the Bible, but one of the primary ones is Daniel in the lion's den. And so the Bible says he slept with the lions all night. If he'd have been focused on lions, he wouldn't have been sleeping. He'd have been over in the corner somewhere, all crouching down, hoping that they wouldn't see him or something. And it brings me back to one of my most favorite illustrations when God just did something for me in one of the most difficult times of my life. It probably was one up to the very top. And this lady came to see me, and she said, I want you to have lunch with me, and then I want to take you up to my apartment and show you something. Well, she was about 70-something, and I was 30-something, so I felt pretty safe. And so we ate lunch, and I went to see her, and I was going through a very difficult time at church. They were doing their best to try to get rid of me. And so we walked in. She said, now, don't sit down. I want to show you something. Walked over and showed me this picture, of Daniel in the lion's den. And she said, now, son, I want you to tell me what you see. So I said, well, and I can still remember looking at that picture. I see this lion over here looking up, and this one looking down, and see the bones. And so I thought of everything this little lady could possibly have thought about. And she said, well, do you see anything else? I said, no. She said, if you'll notice. And the picture had all these lines, and Daniel had his hands behind him. He's looking at this ray of light. She said, what I want you to see is Daniel doesn't have his eyes on the lions, but on God. It was like God hugged me that day. Because from that moment on, all of my fears disappeared, and all of my uncertainties, and a lot of other things probably disappeared, because she got my focus right.
All right after this song by Jason Crabb, Weston Hinson is going to be right here on The Morning Show. It's going to be a great time with Weston. Don't miss out. Right after Jason.
While I was sleeping, Lord, you were working on the mess I made like only I can do. When I start thinking I'm so far from you, I wake up to hear you whisper that's not true. Well, good morning, mercy. You call me worthy. Feels like the sun shining on my face. Living's good this side of grace. I feel it working. Goodbye to the hurting. You woke me up, put me on my way. Hallelujah, it's a brand new day. Good morning, mercy. Yeah, I'm still learning to trust and follow. I won't worry what tomorrow's gonna bring, 'cause you hold it all there in your hands. I'm lifting mine up now, 'cause it makes me sing. Good morning, mercy. You call me worthy. It feels like the sun shining on my face. Living's good this side of grace. I feel it working. Goodbye to the hurting. You woke me up, put me on my way. Hallelujah, it's a brand new day. Good morning, mercy. Yeah, hallelujah, it's a brand new day. Starts all over when daylight breaks. You're giving me joy, it makes me sing. Good morning, good morning. Glory, hallelujah, it's a brand new day. Starts all over when daylight breaks. You're giving me a song that makes me sing. Good morning, good morning, mercy. You call me worthy. It feels like the sun shining on my face. Living's good, the side of grace. I feel it working. Goodbye to the hurting. You woke me up, put me on my way. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Good morning, mercy. Good morning, mercy. Good morning, mercy.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. It's always special. It's always an honor to speak or to even think anything Hinson here on The Morning Show. And this week, we've just about had a spell getting to do that every single day, highlighting the latest album from our new friends. They are legends. They are heroes of gospel music, and they are carrying on a legacy among legacies. And they're here with us today. Well, at least one of them is. And I'm delighted to welcome Weston Hinson to The Morning Show. Good morning, Weston.
Good morning, Natalie. How are you today?
Well, we are excited. This has been a fun week listening to this album. You guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, thank you. We had a blast with this album. It took us a while to get it out to the public, but we did a lot of heartfelt singing, heartfelt producing, and writing for this album, and we just love how it all turned out. And so far, everybody that's heard it has said the same thing,
Oh,
that
it's
it was the
fantastic.
best we've done.
And I can't wait to jump in and talk about this album, but I just want to say a few personal things before we begin. And I've had some surreal moments on the show. We've been going about 15 months now. There have been some pretty special moments in 15 months. But to be sitting here talking to Weston Hinson, Kenny Hinson's son, well, that's that's about one of the most surreal moments that I've had, I guess. You're a pretty big deal, Weston.
Oh, you too kind.
It's
And
the
it's an honor to be talking to you.
I've been anticipating this ever since I met you. And I do want to briefly, and I'm going to hush in a minute and let Weston talk, I promise. But I briefly want to just tell our listeners about getting to officially meet you for the first time. Now, I have heard you in concert and just been out in the audience before, but I officially met you on Friday, March the 31st at what we called a night to remember at Salem Baptist Church. And I will never forget it as long as I live. I may not remember every detail of that night forever, but I won't ever forget the moment that you walked in that door. It was almost time to start, and I was making my final trip to the foyer. I believe it was to get my daddy. He's the pastor. I think I was walking back there to tell him it was time to start. And that front door opened, and your wife, Christy, walked in. And when I looked at her, I was about 99% sure I knew who she was, but I was waiting for you. And for those of you who have never met Weston Hinson in person, you don't mistake him for anybody else. I mean, when you see
Hey.
Weston, you know that's who that is. So I thought I knew her, but I was waiting to see you. And when you walked in right behind her, I could not find the air to breathe. Weston, I had put so much into that event that night. And in my heart, I wanted to honor Ronnie Hinson. I wanted to honor everything Hinson. I wanted to honor the legacy of the Hinsons. And to see you and Christy walk in unexpectedly at that night, my first thought in my mind was, this is the truth. I thought, God, why would you do that for us? Why would you send these people to make this night so special? And the only person that I could think that loved Kenny Hinson any more than me was my sister. And I just started saying, where's Nicole? Where's Nicole? This is Kenny's son. Come over here. This is Kenny's son. It was, out of all the things that happened that night, and there were a lot of good moments. My son got to get up and sing with you guys. That was incredibly special. But of
Oh, that
all
was
of
wonderful.
it, the most special moment of the night to me was when I saw you walk in that building, you and Christy. That was the ultimate moment of all of it. And I probably won't ever get over that. It was so special for you to be there.
It was an honor to be there. First of all, my uncle Ronnie had been at our house the night or two before, and Christy and Lisa, they were both hairdressers at one time in their life, and so Lisa had asked Christy, "Can you pull my hair through and help me get my hair all, how the ladies like their hair fresh and done right before an event or something." And so they were talking about it, and Uncle Ronnie talked about how that you guys were going to do that, and Christy and I, we didn't tell them we were coming. And we had kind of played it down like, well, we've got a lot going on, but we're praying for you guys to have a great event. But we were only going to be like an hour and a half away the next night, so we rerouted our route, for redundancy's sake. There, we came another way to come to our event, and came down a night early. And so we were like, hey, let's go down and support family. And we came in, and the place was packed. The energy was high. The Browders and Uncle Ronnie and Southbound did a great job, and Tate knocked it out of the park. And as I said that night when he got up and did Hallelujah Meeting, man, I'm glad I didn't have to follow that. He brought the house down.
Well, we're still not over it. He had the time of his life. He was so excited about getting to sing that song with Ronnie Hinson on stage. And then when you guys were up there as well, it was about more than we could take, to be honest with you. It was outstanding. The whole night was. And I'm so glad that you were there to share that with us. We really were. We're going to come right back, Weston. I've talked way too much. I have really talked too much. What I want to do is just play the opening song off of the album. And when we come back, we're going straight into the album. I don't want anybody to go anywhere because when we come back, Weston's going to do most of the talking, I promise. But here is a song on the album. It's the first one, and it may just be my favorite one on the entire thing. There's so many good ones, it's hard to pick a favorite. But I absolutely love number one. It's called Staying With Him. We're going to play this, and when we come back, we're going to let Weston tell us all about this album. Don't go anywhere.
Been tempted to run and give up the fight, head for what's wrong while forsaking what's right. But then I recall all the victories behind. He delivered me when there was no way to win. So I've made up my mind, and I'm staying with him, 'cause he's standing with me. And wherever he is, that's right where I'll be. Job had a wife. She said, don't even try. God messed up your life. And she said, just curse him and die. But old Job wouldn't quit. And though he had been crushed, from the ashes that they heard him shout out these words, and God I still trust, and I'm staying with him, 'cause he's standing with me, and wherever he is, that's right where I'll be. Yeah, he'll never give up, so I'll never give in. Though this battle gets rough, but he's more than enough, so I'm staying with him. Yeah, this battle gets rough, but God's more than enough, so I'm staying with him. Oh, I'm staying with
All right, Weston, we're going to get focused on this album. I want to ask you this before we go any further. This is just personal. Do you ever get tired of the conversation always going to Kenny Hinson's son? Does that ever, or is that just always an honor to you? Or do you ever wish people would just focus more on what's happening today? Or are you okay with us just looking back and enjoying that hero and that legacy? Because I'm sure people do that all the time.
Well, if my goal was to be just like my dad, that would be something. If it was to duplicate Kenny Hinson, let's say it like this: if it was to duplicate him, then it would be something that would be cumbersome to me. But there was never designed. God did not design there to be more than one of you or me or Kenny Hinson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When he broke the mold when he made Kenny Hinson or Weston Hinson or any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take elements of people that inspire us. And my dad was a huge inspiration to me.
Yeah.
As you can tell, the DNA is there. And yes. I will always say that my dad is my biggest influence. And every little boy ought to aspire to want to be like his daddy. And there are so many more ways that I would rather be like my dad than just the voice. The way he was kind, the way he was funny the way he knew how to just bring energy when he walked into a room. That's who he was. And he didn't have to fake it. That was not just a persona he put on. That's who he was. And so, but it does not get old to me at all to be compared to him, because he's my hero. But if it was, like I said, if it was something that I was trying to duplicate and replace, then it might become something that was like, oh, but it is not anything that can be replaced. It's just I have always learned to embrace that people are trying to compliment and trying to say, man, I loved your dad. And that's, they're saying something nice. And you always want to embrace that with people.
Absolutely. And it's an ultimate compliment when somebody mentions Kenny Hinson in any way referring to you. Absolutely. And I'm a little envious. You talk about was so much more than the voice. The majority of us only got to experience the voice, and it was enough for us. I mean, just to experience the voice, but you and your family saw so much more than any of us would ever see. And we're a little envious of that.
Oh man, he was so funny and sometimes quirky. I've got all kinds of pictures of him trying to figure out little baby dolls and trying to put batteries in funny spots on baby dolls, or trying to teach me how to play harmonica, or trying to just faces he would make when he couldn't figure something out that just make you laugh, because that's just who he was. That was Kenny Hinson.
Yeah. Well, I'll say one more thing and then we're going to move on. But Weston, to hear your voice, to hear you on stage, even to look at your face, it reconnects us just a little bit with Kenny. And we're appreciative of that. And I'm glad that you share your voice and your face and everything about you, that you share that with us, because it makes us just feel like we're a little bit with Kenny again. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're moving on. We're moving on to this album right here. I want to talk about all of these songs. I'm looking at the album. I've got it in my hand, and I see your name and I see Christy's name all over this as writers. I had no idea until I looked at this that you guys are amazing songwriters. How long have you been writing? This didn't just start, did it?
Well, for Christy, she's been writing. She is the main songwriter. She is, by and large, who I lean on to say, does this make sense? What do I do? I'm kind of new in the game, if you will, for writing, and I lean on her very heavily to understand the game of writing, if you will. I hesitate to call it a game, but for time's sake, that's what we'll call it right now. But the art, let's call it that. The art of writing a song is something that I always tried to overthink. And she said, just keep it simple. You're trying to relay a message to people, and you don't want to overthink it and try to overcomplicate it. You just deliver it straight to them. Yeah. And she's taught me that. She is one of the most incredible singers and songwriters, I think, out there, and probably one of the most unsung songwriters that are out there. But I think that her time is coming, that she'll receive recognition for it, I believe, very, very soon.
She doesn't receive near enough recognition, not only for her writing, but for her singing as well. She makes me want to sing. To see her on stage, or to put this album on, or any album. Look, I've been listening to you guys on album for a long, long time. The album that you did to honor the Hinsons, where you did the old classics. I play that on the morning show all the time. I play those songs. She's one of the best female vocalists that we have to offer, especially on an album. She's phenomenal. And I said this to you and her both this week, because I have come to count you as friends since we met the other night. You two make about the best team. You two make about the best team I've ever seen. About like peanut butter and jelly. You go together perfectly. I mean, just perfectly. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, she's my rock. I like to think of it like this, and this comparison is not to be in any way derogatory towards. Well, this is what I say. I say she's the string that holds me, keeps me from flying away. I'm kind of the kite in a windstorm. I'm a dreamer. She's like, if we say, let's look at something, if we say, let's look at houses or something to buy or whatever, I'm looking at $5 million houses. Right. I'm like, man, look at what we could have. And she's like, whoa.
What can we afford?
What can we afford? She keeps me grounded. She doesn't keep me from dreaming, but she's like, let's keep things and let's strive towards what you dream. but she's also one that encourages me to and tells me you've got the talent that you can do anything and everything. And so, and she's honest with me too. And that's what I'll take a compliment from her because I know it's genuine from her. It's not just fluff from her. And that's what I love about her is she's talented, she's real, she's honest and genuine.
Yeah. And the connection between you two, that didn't just start recently. It goes back decades. I read that the family groups, like her family group, your family group, they sang together decades ago, right?
They did. My dad actually, I believe is in the mid 70s, like 76, 77, somewhere in there, produced an album for them at Hilltop Recording Studios, which I work a lot at now. But back in the mid to late 70s, my dad did an album for them. They were called the Harvest Masters, and for her parents. So she knew my dad a little before I did because Christy came along a little before I did. So she's a little older than me. So that family connection was there well before, really we were even anything to really, I guess, shake a stick at.
That's amazing. Well, there is one on the album that I wanted to specifically play today that I'm pretty swept away with, and it's called "This Ship's Not Going Down." And she wrote that. That's an incredible song, and the vocals are killer. And it's just eat up with Hinson flavor. I mean, yeah. This is a great song. I'd like to play this Ship's Not Going Down. I've played it a time or two this week. Of course, we've been trying to get to all of these songs this week and let people hear all of them. But I've played this one a time or two. Before we play it, Weston, give us a little throw out here where people can get this CD. I don't see it on iTunes or Apple Music or anything like that. Is this something they have to order this off the website?
Yes, and that was done on purpose. We're kind of doing a little different marketing for having CDs because we know that marketing for streaming has gone way further now than CDs do because most people don't even have CD players in their car. So we were trying a little something, which we will be putting it out streaming and iTunes and all that very, very shortly. But we wanted to let the CDs live just a little before we put it out on streaming. And I know that's kind of opposite of what everybody else is doing. But it is available on our website only at the moment at thehinsonfamily.com. And you can go there and just click on our shop and it's right there.
Okay, I'm going to encourage everybody to do that. I absolutely love the album. And I'm going to encourage you just to go to the website just to look at their graphics and their pictures out there because they are amazing. The website is absolutely beautiful. So you need to go look at it, check out the pictures there, and then you need to order this album. Here's Christy Hinson singing "The Ship's Not Going Down."
The storm, it was raging, and their faith was fading as they watched the waves grow so high. Jesus was asleep below in the stern. They cried, "Lord, don't you care that we'll die?" Jesus stepped out and spoke to the wind, and everything calmed all around. Why didn't they know with Jesus on board, their ship was not going down? With Jesus on board, the wind may blow your way, but know your vessel is sturdy. When you can call on His name, let the waves grow high and the thunder sound. But be rest assured, if you got Jesus on board, your ship's not going down. I remember facing my own storm raging, shame, sorrow, and strife. I felt like I was all alone, and I would surely lose my life. Then Jesus stepped in and and spoke to my sin. I was lost, but now I'm found. And now I know I have Jesus on board, and my ship is not going down. With Jesus on board, the wind may blow my way, but my vessel is sturdy, 'cause I can call on his name. Let the waves grow high and the thunder sound. I can be rest assured with Jesus on board, my ship's not going down. With Jesus on board, the wind may blow your way, but know your vessel is sturdy, 'cause you can call on his name. Let the waves grow high and the thunder sound, 'cause you can be rest assured when you got Jesus on board, your ship's not going down. Yes, you can be rest assured when you got Jesus on board, your ship's not going down, not going down.
Okay, Weston, there's a song on here that I want to spend a little bit of time talking about, and it's the title track, Sundays Never End. I'm looking at the writers. Now, I've heard of Nathan Woodard. I know a lot of songs he's written. I've never met him. And I don't know Phil. You'll have to tell me how to pronounce his name. Phil, who's the other writer?
Marins.
Okay.
And Jason Davidson, yes.
Okay, I don't know Phil. Jason Davidson lives about 15 minutes from us. He's from Sebastopol, Mississippi, which is just a neighboring community to us. We think the world of Jason. We count him as a friend. I think he's a terrific songwriter and singer. So it caught my eye immediately to see that Jason was a writer on here. I am in love with this song. Would you just give me the background story of how the song came about and what drew you to the song? Because Christy didn't write this one. You got this one completely from somebody else. So you had to be drawn to the song just like I was. Tell me about it.
Absolutely. We had already had our songs picked out actually for this album. So we were kind of closed off when people were still pitching songs to us. And I had inadvisably went to Facebook and kind of thrown it out there. Hey, if you've written any songs, send them to us. And kind of when you do that, you're open to get a really mixed bag of songs with people that have well intentions but aren't really good at writing sometimes. And I say that with all the love in the world for people, but sometimes you just, not meant to write songs.
And not everybody's a songwriter.
Right. And so, but when this person pitched us this song and said, hey, you got to hear this song. And we'd already written a few songs with Nathan Woodard on this project. He's got a couple of other songs on there with us that we co-wrote with him. And Nathan's a great guy and a phenomenal writer. I mean, one of the best out there. And so I was like, okay, well, I know Nathan's great, so we'll just listen to it. I didn't really anticipate really doing much with it, but I was just, because Nathan wrote it, okay, well, we'll just give him the courtesy of listening. So I listened and I was floored. I honestly was like, holy cow, that's good.
Yeah.
And so I said, before we're closed off, we need to listen. So I sent it to Christy, and I was actually out in the car driving somewhere. And I sent it to Christy and I said, you need to listen to this. And it was her that actually said, okay, we're putting that on the album. So she made the executive decision because, like I said before, she's the songwriter of the group. And so when she says jump on a song, we do it.
Yeah. So, and it ended up being the title of the album.
It's the title track. It is.
Isn't that amazing? Well, we sure want to play this because we're blown away with this song. I think it's very, very special. And like I said, we love Jason Davidson. So he's our friend. So here's the title track. And while we're playing it, I hope you are ordering this album. Here's the Hinson Family, Sundays Never End.
We heard the preacher preach, and we heard the choir sing. Sweet victory in Jesus and amazing grace. And we'd go to Grandma's house. She'd bring the dinner out, and she made sure we had enough to fill our plates. Then we'd bow our heads and we say grace. And we all gather at her table, trading stories and talk about the life that we live, and celebrate the hope we have in glory, and thank the Lord for moments just like this. And then next week we do it all again, 'cause Sundays never end. I can see her at the stove, mashing taters and baking rolls, with all us little children running round. With a smile upon her face, she'd give us all a little taste and show us what it meant to love out loud. Then we'd bow our heads and we'd say grace. And we all gather at her table, trading stories and talk about the life that we live, and celebrate the hope we have in glory, and thank the Lord for moments just like this. And then next week we do it all again, 'cause Sundays never end. Now we all got the news, and it always comes too soon. But ain't it just like life for that to happen? Broke my heart when Grandma left. There's so much I won't forget, and I hope she's proud and looking down from heaven as we bow our heads, oh, and we say grace. And we all gather at her table, trading stories and talk about the life that she lived, and celebrate the hope we have in glory, and thank the Lord for moments just like this, 'cause one day we'll be with her again, where Sundays never end. Oh, where Sundays never end.
Weston, this has been a delight to spend some time with you and to talk about this album. I wish we could play every single song on the album. Every one of them is worthy to be played. But there's one on here that just, it's going back to the legacy, just honors the legacy of the Hinsons. And I hope when people get this album that they'll take the time and look at the cover, because I have looked at these pictures over and over. In the CD case itself, there are pictures of your grandparents, and there's some background about your grandparents, and I'm fascinated with that. And there's a song on here called Preacher Man. Now, is this Kenny and Ronnie's dad, Cecil Hinson?
Yes, that is Cecil Hinson. That is my grandpa, and his backstory is fascinating. It is, I think it's movie worthy. He's an interesting man who had a rough upbringing. Grew up during the Depression. His family made their living moonshining in Middle Tennessee, and his daddy was actually murdered. We're not sure 100%, but the accused murderer was his daddy's own brother, and he shot him in the back with a shotgun over moonshine, and they said a woman. I don't know. So, but shot him in the back with a shotgun, and my grandfather found his daddy face down in the creek bed, and so then his mom developed tuberculosis, and then she went into a sanatorium, and he went into foster care, and just kind of went from home to home to home, and became a drifter, and got separated from all his siblings, and became a loner, and didn't need the world, and developed that attitude. And met a woman, my grandmother Stella, met her in Arkansas on the way to California, where the jobs were all at, and had a slew of kids, and then trying to move on and fast forward because I know we got time. And one day he was coming home from work, and the Lord met him in his truck and came to where he was coming home from work, and no one was in his truck. And this is Uncle Ronnie tells the story much better than I can, so you'll have to go hear him tell it sometime at one of his services. But Jesus appeared to him in his truck and said, "Cecil, it's now or never." Wow. And so he pulled the truck over on the side of the road where he was at there, and gave his heart to Jesus right there on the side of the road on the way home from work, and got so radically saved that everybody around him knew something was different about him.
Wow.
And wasn't just the whole cutesy got saved and then nothing changed. He just prayed a prayer, It was the radically saved.
Drastic.
And became a preacher man. And that's where that song came from.
Wow. And from there, you had Ronnie Hinson and Kenny Hinson and Larry Hinson. How many kids did they have, Weston?
They had 8 children total.
8 children. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And what the Lord has done with that family. Wow. That's just amazing. It's phenomenal. Well, we're going to end out with this one called Preacher Man. I believe it's going to be the first single off of this album, right? We're going to push this one.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I think big things are going to happen with this song. It's incredible. Before we play it, Weston, let me say thank you for spending some time on the morning show. You could have been doing 1,000 things this morning, but you came on and shared some time with us, and I sure do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, we missed Christy. Tell her that we said hello, and you both have a friend here on the morning show. Don't ever forget that. I
appreciate that, and I'll let her know. And we hope to get down there with Lake with you guys sometime, and spend the night with you guys at concert.
We're going to make that happen, okay?
Let's do it.
Appreciate your time, Weston. We're going to be pushing this song.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you.
All right. We'll talk again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Radically saved, pulled from the grave the moment that God showed up. Headed home one day, totally changing that rusted old beat-up truck. And everybody knew there was something new, but they couldn't quite explain. The man who left for work that morning didn't come home the same. He became a fire-breathing, devil-chasing, soul-saving, life-speaking, heart-praying kind of a man. From Monday to Sunday, he lived the same way, wrecking all the devil's plans. And he walked the talk, and he talked the truth with a Bible in his hand. Everybody knew my old grandpappy was a Rocky Top preacher man. The cross, and he'd reach the lost at many a back road church. And from town to town and miles around, people come to watch God work. And everybody knew there was something new, but they couldn't quite explain. The proof was on those homemade altars where sins were washed away. He was a fire-breathing, devil-chasing, soul-saving, life-speaking, heart-praying kind of a man. From Monday to Sunday, he lived the same way, wrecking all the devil's plans. And he walked the talk and he talked the truth with a Bible in his hand. Hey, everybody knew my old grandpappy was a Rocky Top preacher man. Chasing soul, saving life, speaking heart, praying kind of a man. From Monday to Sunday, he lived the same way, wrecking all the devil's plans. And he walked the talk and he talked the truth with a Bible in his hand. Everybody knew my old grandpappy was a Rocky Top preacher man. I said everybody knew my old grandpappy was a Rocky Top preacher man.
Music, ministry, and more. It's The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons.
I woke up this morning with happiness inside. Then I was reminded God is good all the time. I'm thankful, so thankful for the love that He showed on the cross on the hill where He paid for every sin. He's faithful, and I'm grateful for the life that He gave so that I could be saved and live forever with Him. Even in a valley I can say, Lord, oh, I'm thankful. Mercy, hope, and favor, amazing grace and love, given by my Savior, shining down from above. I'm thankful, so thankful for the love that He showed on the cross on the hill where He paid for every sin. He's faithful, and I'm grateful for the life that He gave so that I could be saved and live forever with Him. Even in a valley I can say, Lord, oh, I'm thankful. Even on my worst days I will lift my voice. I have every reason to rejoice. Oh, I'm thankful, so thankful for the love that He showed on the cross on a hill where He paid for every sin. He's faithful, and I'm grateful for the life that He gave so that I could be saved and live forever with Him. Oh, I'm thankful, so thankful for the love that He showed on the cross on the hill where He paid for every sin. He's faithful, and I'm grateful for the life that He gave so that I could be saved and live forever with Him. Oh, I'm thankful, so thankful for the love that He showed on the cross on the hill where He paid for every sin. He's faithful, and I'm grateful for the life that He gave so that I could be saved and live forever with Him. Even in a valley I can say, Lord, oh, I'm thankful. I was walking the west side, lost on a lonely road. I was chasing the highlight, trying to satisfy my soul. All the lies I believed in left me crying like the rain. Then I saw lightning from heaven, and I've never been the same. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I haven't
You're listening to The Morning Show. And now it's time for a few moments of laughter with one of the funniest guys I know, Mark Lowry.
You know, I broke my leg in 2005, and talk about a better day. I was just going to get a taco. A friend of mine, Shelly Kennedy, called me and said, meet me at the burrito shop. I love burritos and I love Mexican food. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I love it. And so I thought I'd ride my motorcycle because I had a Honda Silverwing. It's really just a moped with an attitude. It wasn't a real motorcycle. I mean, it would go 100, but it's automatic because I have ADD. And I used to have ADHD, but y'all, I dropped the H. I'm too old. I'm too old to be that hyper. I'm now just attention deficit disordered. And what was I talking about? And so I was going to meet Shelly Kennedy, and I thought I'd ride my motorcycle. And I got on it, and it's automatic, because, I hate to change gears. That's too much to think about. So I had this automatic motor, and I was going down the road, going down Shepherd Drive in Houston. Anybody know that road? Shepherd Drive, yeah. See, it's a famous road, and it's just one way. And I thought, what would it hurt if I didn't wear my helmet? Well, that was a little self-righteous on your part. Well, we have a law. You know that, don't you? We have a law in Texas. You don't have to wear your helmet because we don't care about our stupid people. You're stupid enough not to wear a helmet? Go ahead. We don't need you. And I didn't wear my helmet because, it's hard to get a helmet on this head. I've always had a head this big. You have to butter it to get it on. So I was driving down Shepherd Drive and loving my life. It was a beautiful, clear day. It wasn't humid, like it normally is in Houston. And got as far as 11th Street in Shepherd. Somebody pulled out of the Blockbusters, all excited about their movie. Didn't see me, and I slammed on the brakes. And I found out when you slam on the brakes on a motorcycle, you're going down because they don't have anti-lock brakes. I didn't know that. And I slammed them on. I'd never had any occasion to slam on the brakes before. And I started heading towards Shepherd Drive without a helmet. And two things went through my mind. Number one, this is gonna hurt. Number two, stay awake. Stay awake. Whatever you do, stay awake. Because I hate to miss anything. Especially if it's happening to me. I slammed my head on Shepherd Drive, and I remember thinking immediately, I'm awake. But I was sliding across the road, and the motorcycle was sliding ahead of me, and people were dodging the motorcycle, and they were dodging me, and I was going, thank you. And I finally come to a stop in the road, and I'm checking my body. My head's bleeding, but no brains were hanging out. And I was conscious, and this big old redneck, my people, this big old redneck in a truck pulled up next to me and said, do you need an ambulance? I said, I don't know if I do or not, because I hadn't checked my leg yet. I hadn't tried to stand up. He said, well, we've already called one. And then I saw some guys standing on the side of the road. I said, could y'all help me get off the road? They said, we no speak English. I said, will you help me get off the L road? I think I broke on my Lego. And once they understood my Spanglish, they came to me. I remember thinking it was just like the Good Samaritan in the Bible, because they came to me with big, big Mexican smiles and beautiful teeth, and they wrapped their arms around me, and they carried me off the road, and they waited on me till the ambulance came. And when it showed up, the first thing those boys did in the ambulance, you need to know this, they cut off my britches. In front of God and everybody. They didn't say, may I cut off your britches? They just cut them off. And your mama was right. Always wear clean underwear. Because you never know when they're going to cut your britches off. And mine were clean before I hit Shepherd.
the Spirit said come, I got up and went. I did not go when the singer had sung, when the offering was taken. I did not come when the preacher had preached. I stayed in my seat, stiff as a bone. When the choir started singing, just as I am, I did not budge, I had taken my stand. Then something happened that got both of my feet walking right down the aisle. When the Spirit said come, I got up and went. There at an altar of repentance I knelt. In a little while, Jesus passed by, lifted the burden of sin from my life. I stayed right there till the battle was done. Then I rose up a shouting that the victory had come. I remember the time when the Spirit said come, I got up and went. Well, I do not remember what the sermon was about. Can I remember the preacher's name? I have my doubts, but I remember the time when the Spirit of God spoke to my soul. He called me by name and he listed my sins, said, child, you must be born again. I fell on my face, felt amazing grace, how sweet the sound. When the Spirit said come, I got up and went. There at an altar of repentance I knelt. In a little while, Jesus passed by, lifted the burden of sin from my life. I stayed right there till the battle was done. Then I rose up with shouting that the victory had come. I remember the time when the Spirit said come, I got up and went. I remember the time when the Spirit said come, I got up and went. I remember the time when the Spirit said come, I got up and went. Got up and went.
What a fantastic day here on the morning show. Special thanks to Weston Hinson for spending some time on the morning show. And since we have made such a big deal about it being the International Moment of Laughter Day, that's kind of been our theme of the day. And we're just focused on songs that make us happy or make us laugh a little bit, where we got to go out with Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers singing about some bacon in our beans, because it just makes me giggle every time I hear it. See you next week. Have a good weekend. Just ending with fun.
First, let me say you're worth some sacrificing, and there ain't much I won't change to be with you. But I've got to say you're asking me for something I'm not sure that I could ever do. I'll bring your mom to church with us on Sundays. I'll join the gym and try to stay real lean. But if I could, I'm asking one small favor. I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans. That's how a country boy survives. So baby, don't be mean. I'll cut back on the burgers, make vegetables routine. But I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. I know that it would help my circulation, and hogs across the country would be glad. But beans without some salt and grease of some kind can only be described as really bad. I know that it's against your constitution. You've made it clear you think it's obscene. But I can't help the way my mama raised me. I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans. That's how a country boy survives. So baby, don't be mean. I'll cut back on the burgers, make vegetables routine. But I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. raisin bran's just fine. I'll even eat your spinach quiche for breakfast and your tofu lasagna with red wine. I know you're looking out for my best interest, but baby, there just ain't no in-between. I promise you'll never have to eat 'em, but I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans, bacon in my beans. That's how a country boy survives, so baby, don't be mean. I'll cut back on the burgers, make vegetables routine, but I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. Bacon in my beans, bacon in my beans. Pinto, white, red or navy, and darling, especially green. I'll cut back on the burgers, make vegetables routine, but I've gotta have some bacon in my beans. Honey, I've gotta have some bacon in my beans.
We're glad you're listening this morning to The Morning Show with Natalie Duncan-Emmons. Stay tuned. The best is yet to come.